Tivoli Gardens made it tough for Harbour at the Ashenine Stadium. Both teams could only manage a drawn result. Portmore United triumphant over Dunbeholin in the St. Catherine Derby. Nicholas Nelson back on the score sheet again for Maroons United in 2 consecutive games, defeating bottom of the table Chapelton Maroons 3-1. And Falcon FC held Cavalier to a 2-2 draw at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex. Welcome to JPL in 30, the highlight show for the Jamaica Premier League. A win would have impacted either team greatly as the season edges closer to an end. Harbour fighting to remain in the top 6 for a playoff spot, while Tivoli attempts to avoid being close to the relegation. Tivoli Gardens centre-back Barrington Price double strike, one from the penalty spot, caused some problems for the Stars of the East, but they would bounce back to even things up at the end. Here are the highlights. Lance Whittaker and Chris Taylor were in the commentary box.
This is a Harbour starting 11. Anthony Bennett, the teenager, in the goal. Ryan Wellington, the captain. Romain Breckenridge, Ordelin Hardin, Roger Smith, Timar Lewis, Kasim Priestley, Colorado Murray, Joshua Anglin, Demar Rose and O'Shane Staple. Tivoli Gardens, this is their starting 11. Nicholas Clark back between the sticks. Well, he's now a regular between the sticks for Tivoli Gardens yet again. Christopher Matthews, the youngster, wears the number 66. Barrington Price, their old team captain, is back in the starting lineup in a 3-man backline. Odine Pennycook, Tiffany Garnett, Anthony Thompson, Alton Lewis, Tommy Lawrence, Natalia Fuller, the youngster from Excelsior, Anthony Nelson, and Diego McKenzie.
Damian Parchment with a whistle. Tivoli Gardens on the attack early. Keno Simpson on the left flank, driving inside. He squeezes the ball in here. And Mackenzie's taken down. And referee Parchment points to the penalty spot. Yeah, there it is. Mackenzie tumbles over from the challenge from Bennett. Barrington Price, the central defender. 11 years of Premier League experience. Makes no mistake from the penalty spot. 1-0 for Tivoli Gardens after 8 minutes. Former captain of the team he is. Opportunity there for Tivoli Gardens, but Anthony Thompson from the 6-yard box crashes onto the crossbar. Oh, that should have been another Tivoli goal, but it wasn't. Yeah, Keno Simpson gives the ball away here in the middle of the park. Timar Rose down to the flank, sees that Colorado needs some assistance here, goes to give him the assistance, whips the ball in one time, and Timar Lewis, 6th goal of the season, firm header. Good work there from Timar Rose. It was his pass that sent Colorado Murray through, and then Murray, and then the cross, and Lewis with a strike. 1-1. Nicholas Clark had no chance there. Tivoli had the desire and the strength to keep going. But the header on goal there from Lewis. Easy for Bennett in the Harbourview goal. Good work here from Lewis down the right flank. His cross inside, and close shave there for Harbourview, but their defender Staple doing some good work. Header on goal by Colorado Murray, but just wide, as Harbourview look for the go-ahead goal there. Price, 2nd goal of the afternoon, just sliding the ball in one time and putting Tivoli ahead here. Harding with that was Staple with a strike from on the right side. Nicholas Clark had some injury issues, but he brought off some valuable saves. Krista J. Daly, 2nd half substitute, creating problems here for the Tivoli defense. Here he is again. Stewart going in for the header. Clark would get himself hurt there on that play. And here's Garth Stewart, late substitute, tripped by Nicholas Clark, the Tivoli goalkeeper. Parchment gives a penalty. Krista J. Daly accepts with glee. 11 minutes into stoppage time, and 2-2 the final score. Harbourview and Tivoli Gardens.
Talk to me about your performance as well. Big at the back, and then a brace. Have you ever scored a brace in the Premier League before?
Yeah, I do it already, but on a regular basic. Unfortunately, I just give thanks to get the double. Yeah.
Very disappointed at the nonchalant approach you took at the beginning of the game, you know. And I think that is something that we'll have to address going forward, because we have some very competitive games coming up and we can't afford to be starting games this way. I thought that we gave Tivoli too much room to really do what they did, you know, and a team that is really on the ropes, we needed to give them the knockout punch. We didn't seem interested at all in doing that. Hence, we had to fight at the latter part. The energy that was displayed at the latter part of the game was something that should have been displayed from the beginning.
Very disappointed, you know, but you know, the fight, we take the positive out of it, you know, we fight. I see a change in the team, how they play. You can see the determination. So we just have to continue building on this now.
A lot was at stake in the final match of Sunday night's doubleheader, a battle between 7th and 8th place Portmore United and Dunbeholden. Prior to the game, both teams were separated by 5 points, with Portmore being only 2 points away from Waterhouse in 6th, which is the final playoff spot. The game was highly intense and some really good goals were scored. Here are the highlights. Lance Whittaker and Chris Taylor were in the commentary box.
Dunbeholden making 2 changes from last week's starting roster that lost 3-1 to Cavalier. Ricardo Thomas and Brian Burkett in for Akimo Jones and Chavoy Watkins. Stephen Barnett, 7 goals so far this season in the number 17 shirt, their leading scorer. Portmore would have made a whopping 5 changes to their starting roster that drew 0 with Chapelton in their last game. Gawain Austin, Tim Shaw, Akeem Mullings and the St. Lucians, Alphinus Myers and Lester Joseph in for Rodolphe Austin, who is out on cards. Saquon Satchel, Lamar Walker, Jaheim Fraser and Tevin Scott. Walker, Chris Taylor, surprisingly, on the bench today for Portmore. Well, he's not even listed on the bench, Lamar Walker is. Second match of the doubleheader at the Ashenheim Stadium. Emilio Rosso cracks one from left side to the near post, but Damien Hatt gets in the way and blocks the Portmore number 6, who goes again for a strike here from a spot kick. Dunbeholden had their moments, that one headed over the top. Here comes Akeem Mullings with a cross. Header attempted by Marshall, slides wide on the left upright. Damien Hatt appeared in goal to have had it covered though. Dunbeholden pressing forward. Brown with a header on goal, but tame. Scott out-muscles Fabian McCarthy here for the ball. Slides the ball between the legs of Damien Hatt. And that gave Portmore the 1-0 lead that they worked hard for. Scott's second goal of the season. First goal in 4 months in the Premier League. Going for more glory here, Scott, but the header tame. Header on goal by Young, but amazingly he misses the target from the 6-yard box. Walsh with a terrific strike. Damien Hatt with a fine save for the left-sided dive. Marshall cracks one from 22 yards out, but it goes high. Dunbeholden looking for the rebound. Walsh forcing his way forward now. And Damien Hatt bobbles the ball, loses control of the ball. Walsh alert, snatches the opportunity and makes Damien Hatt pay for a real sloppy job in goal for Dunbeholden. 2-0 the scoreline here for Portmore at this point. Walsh scores his first goal in the Premier League this season. Walker fires one on goal. What a strike from Walker. Inches wide. He's disappointed. Yeah, Hatt caught the attention there. Look at this strike from Dean Andre Thomas. A quick turn. A rifled right-footed shot. Gives Williams no chance. And Dunbeholden here are back in business with this 83rd minute strike. At this point, it's 2-1 in Portmore's favor. But Marshall would settle things here. Dribbles away from challengers and then thumps this right-footed shot past the outstretched glove of Damien Hatt. Gets the glove to it, but not a strong enough glove, and it's 3-1 to Portmore. And they win it, the St. Catherine Derby.
We came here for the 3 points and we get it. We put out a wonderful team performance and we go to goal as much today and we get 3 goals from it.
It's a very disappointing result for us today. We came here with victory in mind and we started the game well. It's just some poor decision, some errors that cost us the game. Throughout the season we are making these errors and they must stop now.
So at the time the break is bad, but I think we made good use of the break and the areas that we worked on, I think those areas bear fruit for us today. With the change, we also changed the system, and I think that caught the Dumloven team off guard, and the 2 forward that we put on scored for us, which we are happy for.
This is highlights on Matchweek 19. We take our first break. JPL in 30. We will be right back. Welcome back to JPL in 30 with highlights from Matchweek 19. After thrashing Very United 4-0 last game week, Malines United returned this week to hand out the same treatment to Chapelton Maroons. The Nelson brothers and Jason Wright were clinical, sealing off the contest from the first half. This win takes them to 22 points, leapfrogging Tivoli Gardens for 10th spot. Here are the highlights. Donald Oliver and Chris Taylor were in the commentary box.
Peter Harrison is between the sticks, of course the captain in front of him, Rashawn Plummer, Janoy Cunningham, Damian Thomas and Janoy Williams. We can tell that's the same starting lineup when compared to last time out. Javon Brown in the middle of the park, so to Taraj Andrews, Jeremy Nelson, Shamaria Dennis behind the strikers Jason Wright and Nicholas Nelson. Javel Plunkett is between the sticks, Ronaldo Christian, Tremaine Williamson, Javon Thompson and Rashawn Rich. The back four, Alex Gale, Evan Taylor, Christoph Graham and DeAndre Gaddamore will be behind the strikers Jaleel Evans and the returning Aaron Elliott. As we take a look at the full-time highlights, all of Malines United goals came in that first half. Wright had an early pop in the game. And this one was lofted inside, looking for Nelson. Then Brown's ball inside, that was lovely for Jeremy Nelson, who made no mistake at the doorstep at the back post. And yeah, easily done. Malines United's number 7 getting on the score sheet. And then Jason Wright, his effort saved by Plunkett. And Christoph Graham's effort blasted right into the chest of Peter Harrison. Chapelton Maroons defense wasn't the best today, and Brown placed this one inside for Nelson to convert. Nicholas Nelson with an easy tap in there. Good work from Brown, placing it pretty much on a platter. 2 goals in a couple of games for Nicholas Nelson. Jason Wright's effort saw Plunkett having to push that one around. Jeremy Nelson, what a ball that was to Jason Wright. A delicious pass from just inside his own half. And Jason Wright with a wonderful finish. The first touch was just immaculate here, guiding it away from the keeper and the defender. And Wright got his 8th goal this season, and he loved it, Alex Thomas. He really did love it. The Nelson brothers link it up. Nicholas Nelson, how did he manage to get a shot off from there? It was a wonderful save, you know, from Plunkett. And then in the second half, Chapelton trying to stage a comeback, and this was blasted in by Mark Lewis, opening his account in the Jamaica Premier League this season. Elliott had miskicked, turned out to be an assist. And Mark Lewis with the placement. Turned out to be a consolation though for the Chapelton Maroons. Lewis could have gotten a second. Would have been a little disappointed with the end result there. Malines United had a couple of opportunities to stretch their lead. Nelson had an eternity and a day, and then in the end decided to try and pass it to Jason Wright. And then Wright himself with the effort on target put behind by Shane Watson. And that was that at the end.
It's been good. It's very important that we get another win on the spin, and I just have to say glory be to God for just keeping us and having his favor upon us,
It's a really tough time, but the circumstance, what has happened there for us, red card, injury some player, some of the player could not play regarding to the yellow card. So, but still, we have been struggling. The problem, as I told you before, I'm learning just 45, 50 days with the team. So I got to know the players. Today it was to prove what I'm saying. We put one team, but before halftime I had to change suddenly because nobody won. It was the first time I put this team. For the second halftime, they made me happy. Even though the end of the game, they have got so many chances, is the way we have to do, to open the team and try to find the draw.
First, very excited, I have to say, well done to the team. Without them, it would be possible. Like my coaching staff, my management team, planning every week, in the training pitch, and, hats off to them.
Cavalier had to come from behind twice to get a draw from their fixture against 13th place Falcon FC, and it took 2 sublime goals to tie the contest. Colin Anderson's beautiful strike could be in contention for the goal of the season. Here are the highlights. Donald Oliver and Chris Taylor were on commentary duties.
Falkland FC, they do have David Swaby between the sticks, a back 5 of Sajay Anderson, Kyle Anderson, Joel Powell, Kimani Reid and Enrique Gordon. In the middle of the park, Val Armstrong, Tarita Gregory, Tevin Thompson and Romario Clark. And up front, Jelani Nicholson. Jaden White returns between the sticks for Cavalier. In front of him, a back 3 of Giovanni Leng. Richard King also returns there, so to Kyle Ming, which means that Brian Elshot will be playing in the holding midfield area along with Ronaldo Barrett, who impressed last time out. Christopher Ainsworth, Dwayne Atkinson and Ronaldo Webster complete those in the middle of the park. Omario Henry, who scored 2 goals last time out, is rewarded again with a start up front beside one Colin Anderson, who has 14 goals to his name so far this season, the league's leading goal scorer. As we take a look at the full-time highlights here, and Cavalier were doing most of the running. Webster did well, but did place that one behind Henry. Enrique Gordon with the delivery, and that was a good first touch from Jelani Nicholson, and the finish was a fabulous one. Nicholson opening his account in the 15th minute of play. That was just a wonderful finish from Jelani Nicholson. Anderson had several chances in this one. First denied by Swaby. Leng, with this effort, didn't have a lot of power behind it. And then it was a wonderful ball from Leng to Anderson, who headed that one over the crossbar. And then this was fired in by Dwayne Atkinson. What a hit that was. Look at the swerve on that. Atkinson with his 7th goal this season. A magnificent strike. And they were back in this one, Cavalier. 1-1. And then the substitute, Rondell Thomas, beating the offside trap and beating Jaden White as well. Lofting the goalkeeper. That was a really good finish. Really very good finish. Ball had come from Tevin Thompson. It was a good pass from him, but it was down to the finish from Rondell Thomas, getting his 2nd goal this season. Then Cavalier, they kept on pressing. King's effort saw Swaby making another save, and then Leng's effort was eventually held by Swaby. They played a A lot of long deliveries inside the box. This one worked. Anderson setting up Ronaldo Robinson in the dying embers of this game, snatching the equalizer through the crowd. And previous efforts would have been blocked, but that one was for certain, and it crossed the line, and it was the equalizer for Cavalier.
It was a really great goal, and my first goal of the season, and coming off a long time of playing football. I'm kind of unfit, but I'm still trying and push until we can give everything we can give.
A chance lost to go top of the table.
Oh, definitely, and it's not because we didn't get the chances. We got them from first goal, and we just couldn't convert. Apparently, we just left our shooting boots today.
They played as a team, but I think lapse in concentration at the end. You know, you have to play for the 90 minutes because football is a game of 2 halves and 90 minutes, so you have to play to the end. You know, we got the ball down to the corner flag. I think we should have held up the ball a little and try to draw some foul, you know, or something. But you know, that's the game of football. Really wanted the 3 points tonight. I mean, we've been working and finishing. We got some goals. You know, the transitional play from the defense to the midfield to the forward line, it worked. You know, but I mean, as I said before, all aspects, all lines have to connect. The defense line, the mid line, and the forward line. And we connected in some areas, and you know, paid dividends, but we gave up goals.
Results from the non-televised matches are Montego United and Very United played to a 3-3 draw. Humber Lion and Arnett Gardens drew 1-1. Waterhouse got the better of Mount Pleasant 2-0. Arnett Gardens remain at the top of the league. Cavalier jumps to second. Mount Pleasant slips to third. Harbourview, Waterhouse and Humber Lion rounds up the top 6 respectively. This has been JPL 30 on your home of champions, SportsMax. Tune in next week for Matchweek 20 highlights of the Jamaica Premier League. Powered by Digicel.